Hello, my friends. Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Man Cave. You can tell it's the Man Cave. Some backwards to me. Everything's backwards. You can tell it's the Man Cave. It says so right there on the wall. I've got a couple of violins for sale. These are handmade violins. These are not the cheap Chinese, Amazon stuff. Not that that stuff isn't good, because some of it is. But this is really nicely made violins, each one made by hand completely. I knew the man that made them. His name was Jack Morrow. I believe it actually was John Morrow, but everybody called him Jack. And that was Patty's father. Patty, you've seen play violin in our bluegrass band occasionally on some of our live. In fact, she was on the one before last. This is a beautiful violin. It's what I would call your standard traditional style violin. It's a 4/4 size, so it's a full size. It's ebony appointments. In other words, the black wood there that you see is ebony. Even the pegs, I believe, are ebony, but they're a little streaked. They're not the black ebony. They might possibly be rosewood, but I don't think they are. I think they're ebony. I just think it's a ribbon ebony type thing. This looks like it's a curly maple chin rest. And I imagine John made that also to match the violin. The top is really fine grain spruce, which is what Stradivari liked. He liked the tight grain. It also has the two-piece back, which Stradivari invented. So it's basically a Stradivari copy type violin. It's carved a little bit higher, perhaps, than maybe a Strad. I'm not really sure if that's true or not, but it kind of looks like it is. It's got a nice bow to the back there too. So it's a really nicely made violin. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it very well. So this violin is up for sale, and I will insert a clip of Patty playing the violin during our live show a couple of months ago, and hopefully you'll enjoy hearing that. Now here's a clip of Patty playing violin number 1. I also have another violin. We're going to call this one Violin 1. This will be what I would call your standard traditional violin. This will be Violin 1. Violin 2, I believe, has more of an Indian theme. By the way, let me show you with Violin 1 before we get any further along. Violin 1 comes with a black case, and it's a nicely made case. It comes with one of John's cards in here, in terms of John that made it, See if you can, it'll focus on that. It even tells the number and how it was made there on the back. There is a case strap in here. So in other words, if you like a shoulder strap, there is a strap in here. It has this cover that goes over. There is some rosin in here. And there is a bow. Let me show you the bow. Here's the bow. Now the bow has some looks like decals stuck on it, like arrows or something. Of course, you could leave those on or take them off. It's not a big deal one way or the other, but it's a nice bow. Let me look down it. Yeah, it looks really straight, so it looks like a nice bow. It's got decent hair on it. So that's violin number 1. Let me put it back in the case here. And violin number 2 comes in this case. Again, the strap is up here in this part. And it's got the full lining on it also. You know what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to switch the bows around, because I don't know if I switched them or something else, but the other one has the arrows on it, which kind of matches the theme of this. This one has glitter on this bow. It's a again, it's a real nice bow. It's decently straight. It's got a little tiny bit of a bow, you know, sideways bow to it, but almost nothing. Otherwise, it's really good. This one actually probably even has a little more hair than the other one. So it's a really good bow. I think I'm going to switch this bow to violin number 1 because, again, the other one has the arrowheads on it. This is an Indian theme. So I am going to switch the bows. Be really aware of that. In fact, I'm going to do it on camera so you'll know that they got switched. Okay, so the bow with the glitter is going into violin number 1. Violin number 2 is, again, another handmade violin by Jack. And again, it's coming with one of his cards. And this one tells you how it was made, also what the kind of wood it was made out of, etc. They're basically the same thing. This one is a maple back. It's a little bit more, it's a busier maple back. In fact, I don't know, they're both really beautiful, but I actually like this type of maple myself. I think it's just gorgeous. Just really gorgeous. Really, you'd have to look hard to find nicer looking violins than these. These are really nice. Again, ebony appointments. The black wood is ebony. These are metal tailpieces, I believe, which are adjustable. These are built-in adjusters, which is really the way I like it for country and bluegrass. The classical violinists, they don't care for that too much, but everybody's different. This one has an Indian head carved into the scroll up here, or where the scroll would ordinarily be, and it's got Indian themes down through here. There's a cactus and a teepee, and it looks like a coyote perhaps, and a moon. And that's why I switched the bow. This one has the arrowheads on it, so we switched it over to the Native American theme. But it's a beautiful violin. I didn't even tune it, and it's pretty close. Let me tune it up a little bit, just real quick. Very nice violin. Again, very nicely made. This one, the other one is set up a little bit lower. So violin number 1 is set up a little lower. These strings are very close to the fretboard on violin 1, which would also make it a little easier to learn and play on. But if you're a real hard player, that one would probably need to be reset up for you because it would need to be raised up just a little bit. This one here is just about perfect in terms of the setup, in my opinion, in terms of how high the strings are. It looks really good, and everything looks fine. They are both ready to play. Don't get me wrong. I'm just telling you, trying to tell you everything I see, so you understand. I'm not hiding anything from you. And but boy, that is one beautiful violin right there. And again, the bows are fine. They're good bows. These are not cheap bows. They're decent bows. Now here's a clip of Patty playing violin number 2. Let me tell you the way the auction's going to go. We're going to put a starting bid of $800 and a buy-it-now price of $1,800. The last two that we auctioned off, they immediately sold at the buy-it-now price of $1,000. Obviously, that was a little too low because they sold instantly, basically. So we're going to... This is a deal, in my opinion. I mean, I don't think you're getting hurt at all. So we're going to put a starting price of $800, a buy-it-now price of $1,800. That's a really pretty violin right there. You don't see very many that are prettier than this one. So, and the other one's just as beautiful. It's just different wood is all. They're made exactly the same, as far as that goes. but they're just really nice violins. Jack did a good job, and we miss Jack. So, guys, I hope you'll take a look at the auction. I'll put a link in the description here to the auction. The auction is on my website, www.rosastringworks.com. And then you go to the shopping page on my website, and it'll probably be the very last items down there on the bottom. I'll put 2 separate auctions in there, one for Violin 1, which is the first one, and this one is Violin 2. So there you go. That's the way it's going to work. Be sure to check it out. I'll let the auction run for about 2 weeks, and highest bidder will win. We will ship it anywhere, but we will have to calculate the shipping and add that to the cost. And let me warn you that out of country, that can be very expensive. So just realize that before you go to bidding on it. But within the United States, I would imagine the shipping would probably be under $100 per violin. But thank you so much for taking a look at these, and let the bidding war begin.